Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to R.C.E. Kingston. As you can see, we're back at our house, but this technically is still part of the California series because we're trying something new here. Me and Mom. So you've only seen the amusement parks, but we did a lot more while we were in California. And in this video, we're gonna kind of talk about some of those things and go over a few questions that we're gonna ask each other and talk about the highlights and all that stuff from the trip.
Yep.
So, it turned off. Sorry if there's any kinks in this. This is our first time doing it. So, I think it would be good to just start off. Let's just do this. Let's start off with the amusement park stuff.
Okay.
So if they want to hear that, they can leave a little bit early. So let's just start off. What do you think was the best dark ride that we went on? That would be mostly at Universal, which was the first video we did in the trip.
I think that the Jurassic World one. I liked that.
Yeah.
It was very had a lot of jump scare type parts, but it also, you felt like you were in the movie with some of the characters and the way they did it. So I thought it was done very well. And I don't usually like the dark rides or water rides, so I actually liked that one.
Yeah, I have to mirror what she said with that. Talking from a technical standpoint of the ride, the animatronic quality was so good.
Yeah.
Especially the part just before the drop where you have like the Indominus to one side, and it looks like it's gonna come down and bite you, and then as the T-Rex comes out, if you watch the Indominus, you see it will literally look to face the T-Rex. So like they're about to go towards each other.
I liked how they had the Mosasaur done in there too. Like it was digitally in there, but you felt like it was real.
Yeah, because that would be something that was very difficult to do with the animatronic, but that's the type of screen usage I like. It isn't overly done, but it's... I like if you know it's a screen, you know it's a screen. But like...
Right. But even when it splashed, you had water splashing.
Yeah, it wasn't just all visual. It was mixed in.
A little bit.
I think I want to quickly touch on a smaller, a secondary highlight. I very much enjoyed Green Dots, also at Universal. I thought Escape from Green Dots is a super cool system. You can be a little motion sickness with the screens.
It's a little too.
And I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the screen parts, but the practical effects and how like you're rotating and at certain points you'll be something right there and you're hanging like backwards and about to fall at the top of the seat. I think that is an incredible system. It makes me even more excited for the Frankenstein mansion attraction coming to Epic Universe because it's seeming like it's going to be that same system. Which I think
without the spiders. We've stalled.
Yeah, we had a small breakdown during the ride. It was maybe like a minute.
Yeah, but we were like hanging there in that spider
over the spider
thing, which I could have done without.
Yeah. Staying on the staying in the amusement park side of things, let's go ahead and just talk about what is the worst coaster. Sorry, Father is in the other room. What was the worst coaster of the trip?
I don't really know. I have a hard time with names and stuff.
Just describe it and I'll...
I wouldn't say it was the worst, the
just the weakest one.
The chute one.
Oh, Accelerator.
So I wouldn't say it was the worst one, but it's definitely was the scariest and not something I would ever ride again.
One and done.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say worst in that way. Worst as in scariest, and I did it. Check. Not doing that again. I didn't ride as many of them as you did.
I got the majority. Like I got all the ones at Knott's, all the ones at Universal.
Yeah.
The only park I missed some was at Magic Mountain, but there's 20 coasters there. Not all of them are open.
Well, I pick out which rides I'm going to ride too. So I mean, for me, now that I think about it, worst would be the twirly one that
X2 or
that was spinning. While it was going.
X2.
And that's just because the extra spinning and twirling and jerking around and stuff. But again, I'm glad I rode it once and done.
For me, I have a very set in stone answer for this one with no doubt in my mind. Coast Rider at Knott's Berry Farm is a tragedy of a ride.
I don't even.
That
I don't
is-
think I read that one.
Yeah, that was the one you filmed me on. And I looked like I was having an existential crisis.
It was like not Mickey Mouse, but
the wild mouse.
Yeah. Yeah, you looked like you were very unimpressed.
I'm
very
already
underwhelmed.
I'm already not a fan of wild mice coasters, but whenever you mix in the fact that it was trimmed to death, so you didn't have any speed, and the fact that there are and the fact that there are shin guards, which every time you have a moment where you hit those brakes, and it's not smooth braking, it's just you slam your shins into the shin guards. Not comfortable. Knott's Berry Farm, do something about that. That ride does not deserve to be in your park.
Not sure if you can see this little face, but she needs a home. She's up for foster.
I'll put a picture.
Excuse me, up for adoption.
I'll put a picture of her if you can't see her. You might be able to see her in there. Going from one side of the scale to the other, we just talked about the worst coaster, best coaster of the trip.
You, again, not going to know the name of it. What was the one at Knott's Berry Farms that I wanted to ride over and over again?
Hang Time?
Yes. That one. Probably my favorite one from the whole trip.
That was a very good one.
It was fun. Yeah, that was
very much exceeded my expectations.
And I don't ride roller coasters numerous times, especially back to back. And that one we rode a lot. And then when they were closing, it was like, oh, let's get one more. So.
And I mean, talk about just presentation-wise, that is easily the best one of the entire trip. The lights on it at night, the tracer lights that follow the train, absolutely beautiful. Like easily the highlight in terms of visuals on the trip. For me, I'm going to the other coaster park we went to, and I have to give the title to X2, which you said was one of your worst coasters of the trip.
Because it was terrifying.
For me, I have never experienced anything like that. Like getting upside down airtime while flipping upside down and rotating to be on your back. Literally unreal. A close second for me, absolutely Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm. I rode that the most of any coaster on the trip. Like you can ask her. That's where I was most of the day at Knott's. I think I ended up getting
I didn't even ride it.
No, which I'm so sad. But the
line was super
3-hour wait for most of the day.
That's what made us decide to buy you a
fast pass.
Yeah.
Which even then, I mean, I got into a system where because it was on one train, the time it took me to get off that train and loop back around, I was loading onto the train again. But even if I missed that interval, it was still like a 10-15 minute wait with the fast pass because it was on one train.
Yeah.
One train. Knott's Berry Farm, I want to love you, but your operations are horrific. But I think I ended up getting like 18 rides on that thing. Most of them were in the back of the train. My sides hurt so bad, but it was so worth it. Okay, let's do this. Finishing off the amusement park section, let's talk about the best park of the trip.
So I have multiple things on this one. It's hard for me.
Really? Okay.
So Six Flags, I think, was the best park, as in it had the most rides. Because, like you said, there's like 22 coasters. So there was nonstop something to do. Universal got a big like for me with the way they did the Super Mario World.
Definitely.
Because I don't think they could have done that any better.
No.
It was literally looked like you walked into the game. So kind of a little bit of both there.
For me, I'm very torn because, like you said, Universal Hollywood is a very underrated park.
Their gaming is
I feel like it's been very overshadowed by the Florida park because that's such a much bigger resort.
It's a lot bigger, yeah.
Universal Hollywood is very small, but it works in its favor because it's a very cool park. Six Flags Magic Mountain, it has so much energy. It's so kinetic. Everything is so good. But for me, I have to say Knott's Berry Farm, actually.
That I feel like that would have probably been higher on my list had their shows and all of that stuff been going. None of their shows were going on while we were there. So if you weren't riding rides,
there wasn't really.
It really kind of took away everything else.
But I think if we went during a peak month,
because we were there when it was extra hot and they weren't doing a lot of the shows.
I feel like in terms of ride lineup, it has rides that rival Magic Mountain because they don't have as many lower tiers, everything there is a very
So
high
big, yeah.
level of quality.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere was so nice.
Mhm.
I mean, every part of the park looked fantastic.
Yeah.
The only critique I have is the operations, but I can look past that because of how good the park is.
Yeah.
Why don't you pick the next one?
Most disappointing experience of the trip. So now we're just kind of moving on to
So
other
we're getting
parts of the
into
trip.
the general scheme of the trip. I'll let you go first on this one.
So mine is very reality TV, and the reason I loved the idea of going to Hollywood or California was in the hopes of seeing more celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know I would not have attacked them or anything like that, but just seeing them, we saw 2 or 3.
Around there.
And they were all from reality TV shows that I
Yeah.
watched. Like, we didn't see any big name celebrities or anybody that everybody would know just walking down the street. So that was a little disappointing to me, because you always hear that
they're like everywhere and stuff, but
no, not so much.
I have to say the most disappointing experience, I don't know if you could really consider it an experience, but it was more disappointing aspect, was just the way the city felt. Like, it felt like we were doing the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and the moment you got out of the famous part, it's like there was a severe drop off in how nice it was.
So that will go into the next thing, because that was where my next answer was, the biggest culture shock of the trip, and that was mine. How it went from very popular, clean, pristine city to literally you crossed a crosswalk and you were in homeless tents, trash. So that was
a big thing.
Or you turn a corner and it's like tents all the way down
covering the sidewalk.
Yeah. So that was a disappointment and a shock to me. Yeah.
Continuing on that question, my culture shock was I had no clue, which this might sound ignorant and all that. I had no clue how many different types of people were in the LA area. Like, just off the top of my head,
different nationalities.
There were so many different nationalities, so many, like, you see so many different types of people. So that was something, because like here in South Carolina, or like the kind of low country area, you see like there's like 3 distinct groups of people that you see everywhere. You got white, Black, Mexican. That's kind of your entire demographic of people here.
And the others are usually tourists or visiting or something. But there it was a very big mix of different nationalities, demographics, a little bit of everything.
It was a wild experience to see.
I guess that's how it is at big cities.
Yeah.
Because I think New York City is the same way. You get these big, huge cities.
And it's just this big melting pot of everything. Another culture shock. This is a super short one. The interstates are freaking huge. What was it? 8 lanes on one side?
On one side, yeah. So it's 16 lanes all the way across. And they would have on-ramps that literally were in a neighborhood and you turned and
they were like
turned
180 degrees onto the interstate.
Mile per hour traffic. It was not a yield. There was not a ramp. It was literally
sharp turn 80.
Pray for your life.
Unreal.
Yeah. So we did those. Ooh, favorite thing we learned.
Ooh. I loved learning about so we did what was it, 2? We did a studio tour at Universal and we did one at Warner Bros. I loved learning about that. Learning how it was made. Yeah.
So mine was the history behind the Hollywood sign.
Really?
Yeah, because you see it in movies, you see it in TV shows. It's like
the
thing there. And it was not even made for that. It was actually a real estate agency's advertisement. And it used to say Hollywood Land, right?
Yeah, Hollywood Land.
So that was interesting, and all the history behind the part where the Hollywood sign was. So all of that was interesting to me.
That was another highlight of knowledge tidbits.
Favorite restaurant?
I have to say, what was it? Was it Schwartz and Sandy's? That was, I think that mostly goes out to our waiter.
Yeah.
He
it
made
was
that
good.
as such a cool
Mhm.
experience. The food there was really it was really good food. Had this very laid back feel.
Mhm.
Because the other restaurants we went to, I was like, I don't feel like I should be here. I don't feel
You were a
fancy.
little fancier.
But that one had a
Mine,
very chill, nice atmosphere.
I liked all of them because of the, Vanderpump
In and
Rules.
out. In and out is another highlight.
We did all the Vanderpump Rules restaurants. But my favorite one was probably Tom Tom just because that spicy sausage rigatoni dish I had was really good. And I have to give it to them and at Swartz and Sandy's. The bartenders and the drinks are great. They're specialty, they're made special, they're fresh, very good.
I'm nodding because they also looked good. Like they were very
Yeah, they
appealing
were-
to look
yeah.
at. They were very. You could tell care went into them. They weren't just
Mhm.
like.
One of your others is most likely to do again.
So yeah, so that's like if we were to go back, not counting the parks or anything, because like that's
Oh.
obvious. I'd like to do Six Flags again, but like as a tourist thing, we could also open that up to what we would also like want to do, like that we missed.
Yeah, I would want to do the Paramount Studios
Mhm.
tour to see their side of things. But other than that, I mean, I don't think I would go back and do any of the things we did
Right.
because I feel like it was done. I got the experience, saw it all, and so it's like, okay, let's do something different.
For me, I'd love to do more hiking type stuff. Go see the more of the natural landscape and all of
Mhm.
that, or maybe like go to like more Long Beach area or like the
Yeah.
surrounding smaller places that kind of like that pier place that we went
Yeah.
to. There was like more of
Where
that.
the sea lions were.
Yeah, one of the
Or
more.
seals.
I
Rubber
don't
seals.
remember,
I'm
I don't
not
remember
sure
which one it was, but I love to do more stuff like that, one of the smaller things.
Yeah.
So
Last one. The end.
So okay, overall trip highlight. So this is parks, normal tourist stuff, anything. This is our moment from the trip that was our favorite thing. I'll let
So
you.
I have two.
Okay.
The first one, like the actual highlight of the trip part, was just seeing all of the things that you are used to seeing in TVs or
Mhm.
movies and that kind of stuff, like seeing that real life. So I liked that. And then obviously having a trip with you.
No.
Because we haven't done that in a long time, just the two of us. So
Yeah, the
it was a
last
fun
one you saw
experience.
was Tampa with Busch Gardens and SeaWorld,
Yeah.
which was what, 2 years ago now?
I did more than that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It was at
Timeline
least
was.
2 years ago.
But yeah, we haven't done anything like that, and it was cool to experience places that neither of us had ever
Mhm.
been together. So.
Honestly, for me, I think my biggest trip highlight was that moment whenever we were driving up to Six Flags.
Yeah.
Because like and everything else we were tired during Universal, so like we were there, but like we weren't fully there.
Yeah.
It was that moment because the way Six Flags Magic Mountain is placed, you onto the interstate and you turn off and you just see X2 and the huge skyline.
Mhm.
It was at that moment when I saw X2, I was like, holy explicitive. I was here. I am here. It's right there. I think that was, and even further whenever like we saw Tatsu and all that.
Mhm.
I think that was the moment that I was like, wow.
Yeah.
We're actually on the other side of the freaking country.
Yes. Yes, they were. And our rental car was great. Thanks, Avis. Our
Hashtag not
rental,
sponsored.
our
Please do.
rental was great. We stayed in this cute little lofty,
Yeah.
it was like a garage that they turned into an apartment. Thanks VRBO.
Hashtag not sponsored, but please do.
And yeah, I mean, it was just a good trip. It was fun.
It was
we were
super good.
exhausted.
Oh gosh.
And I made the terrible decision to go to work the very next day. So
also, jet lag tip to avoid jet lag: don't have a sleep schedule. It won't affect you at all. If you don't have any sleep schedule to go going into it, you will not feel the jet lag. So just mess up your sleep schedule maybe 2 weeks in advance, and you'll be perfectly fine.
It literally took me about 10 days to get back to feeling normal me after we got home.
I was pretty much fine. I was just tired from all the movement and like
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't think we had a full chill day. Like we spent
No.
we spent a little
We
while.
had no chill day. We had like 4 hours that one evening that we
Yeah.
were done.
And we were
like, we're going to bed. Like, and we got frozen pizza and sat on the couch and watched comedians.
Yeah.
So-
We watched, what, 2 comedy specials and then we're done with it.
But it was a good trip.
It was a great trip. So, thank you guys so much for coming along with us on this. There'll be plenty of reviews and all of that YouTube stuff coming out in the near future. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye!